Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode here at WILDMAN Lives. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, I'm being a little ambitious because about a couple days ago, I did a PR on the deadlift, along with giant strength training format. So I'm a little beat up, a little tired, but I wanted to get some shoulder work in today. So the plan is to do the seated military press, where I start from the top of the rack and then work it down to my chin and then explode back up. And I've explained in past videos why I prefer this method versus bringing it all the way down to my chest. I feel like that is not a natural movement, and that the military press really carries over a whole lot more into lockouts when it comes to ground to overhead movements, such as the continental clean and press. Now, the last time I did the military seated press, I did it with a barbell, and I did 275 pounds for an all-time PR. And I'm very proud of that, and I really should be happy with that and just move on with my life. But I really want to see if I can hit 280 pounds. And I'm being even more ambitious because I'm going to try to do it on an axle bar, which doesn't bend like a barbell. It's 2 inches thicker than a barbell, about the size of a Coke can in grip, and it doesn't have any knurling. Makes it a lot harder to overhead press. So there is a possibility that I just might fail this lift. And although in my mind, I'm not believing that I'm going to fail, I believe that I'm going to hit it, there still is a chance I'm going to fail. And there's a really big reason why sometimes failure is a really crucial part of your strength training progress over time. Because remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So let's pop into today's workout. Let's see what we got going on. So beginning with the strength giant set, I'm going to be working up to a 1 rep max with the axle bar doing the seated military press. And this is what it looks like. It just comes down to your chin and pops right back up to the rack. As I'm going up in weight, I'm also going to be doing a single farmer carries walk with that cool Gorilla kettlebell, 72 pounder. Walk to and from the bullpen, switching hands along the way. Really works the obliques, and it's just a great overall movement for carries. It's like carrying your kid's luggage when going to Disney World. And jump ropes. I've been doing a lot of jump ropes lately. I just kind of feel like I like jump ropes. I don't know, sue me, but they're a great overall conditioning tool, and they warm up my shoulders and my legs and the timing movements of strength training portions. That's going to be the strength giant set for the day. And it is a very hot day today. We are in summer and it is very hot outside. So fortunately, I'm underneath that awning where I'm able to get some shade and not kill myself. On another good note, I got my Wi-Fi working. My Wi-Fi extender has not been working at all during this time. And although I am the wild man and I enjoy nature, I love being outside and listening to nature exist and all the sounds of nature that come with it. But every once in a while, I do enjoy some music just to kind of draw out all my thoughts and to really get focused on the movement and to have fun in the process by listening to music that I enjoy listening to. And I decided to do this instead of like a ground to overhead movement such as the continental clean and press or the log clean and press or the circus dumbbell clean and press, because I really needed to rest my posterior chain from the deadlift movements that I was doing not too long ago. So this is a great substitute to do because it really works the lockout portion of the overhead press, because most of the time a bar, when you're standing erect with it and it's in the front rack position, all you got to do is just kind of jump and it's going to get to your chin level. Then you need to have the shoulder and the tricep strength to lock it out. And the military press is going to isolate that movement and overload it so you get stronger in that part of the overhead press. Since I've been doing it, all of my pressing movements have gone up. So I definitely believe in it. I usually switch off with the dumbbell seated press every other week when I'm doing my main overhead pressing movement. And I understand the old adage, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. In this case, I'm actually going to switch up that adage a little bit because I actually plan that I might fail. But failure is very important when you're strength training. You don't want to fail all the time. They usually tell you that you're doing something wrong when you're programming. But you also don't want to be successful every single time you go to the gym because that means you're not challenging yourself enough. So every once in a while, it's good to fail. And on this particular day, it seemed like a good day to see if I could push through the boundary. And if I made it, great. And if I didn't, at least I tried, and it tells me what I can work on. Now, this is going to be my set before my top set. Now, this would actually tie my PR on the axle bar. So I did 275 on the barbell, but 260 on the axle bar. And this actually moved a little bit sticky through the middle, which probably told me I'm probably not going to be able to hit 280 today. But, I planned to fail. So I decided I was just going to load up the weight that I wanted to do, a 20-pound jump, and try to go for an all-time PR, not only on the seated press, but on the axle bar as well. And I didn't even make it very far, folks. It got like an inch above my chin, and it came right down on those safety guards. So fortunately for those things, that saved my life. All right, so that was kind of a big ask, especially considering how fast 260 moved, which felt a lot heavier because this bar doesn't bend. It's 2 inches thicker than a barbell, has no knurling, so it's definitely a lot harder to lift. And that would have been a 5-pound PR if I had hit it, because I've done it with a barbell at 275, but didn't go up today. Sometimes that happens. So now I can rely on the variation giant set where I could do the volume portion with this and really try to make up for it. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now for the variation giant set, I was really going back and forth about what weight I wanted to do. Did I want to do 210 pounds without a belt? Or do I want to do 230 with a belt? I decided to do 230 because mainly I really want to hit that lockout portion, like I said. So adding more weight and maybe doing 5 to 6 reps would be the appropriate amount of work. So that's what I did today. I was hoping to get 6, but 5 moved very slowly. So I decided to put it back and to move on with the workout, which was going to be the same exact format as the strength giant set, which is those single farmer carries with that super cool kettlebell that's 72 pounds to work the obliques, the shoulders, the legs, and my conditioning, and including conditioning the jump ropes. Love jump ropes. Don't know why, but I'm really into them lately. Now for the accessory giant set, that braided band is a lot of tension, but it's beginning to be a little too easy when I put it on the hook on my rack. So now I kind of used that beam above head to try to get some more tension in the band, and that seemed to do the trick. That was a lot of tension on the triceps, so that was perfect because that's what I was trying to hit. Then I would take that same braided band and I'd loop it through that super cool kettlebell again. Have I mentioned that this kettlebell is super cool? And I would do some side delt raises. Great exercise to do once you're done with all of your overhead pressing, because you got to work the polar antagonistic movement in order to keep your shoulder from impinging. And that's what does it. And face pulls, which is also a great movement to do to avoid shoulder impingements. And that was the total workout for the day. Now, although not everything went according to plan, I did kind of factor that in to fail. And the fact of the matter is, I still enjoyed being outside. I still enjoyed getting a really good workout because it was in giant strength training format. So I'm able to get a decent workout while I'm going up on strength training. And it also tells me what I can work on and what's going to be some new goals that I could set in order to build up to that weight that I want to hit. And the axle bar definitely threw me off. The axle bar, I couldn't grip very tightly on it like you can on a barbell. So that thin diameter on a barbell makes a big difference. That big, thick grip, overhead pressing, definitely leaves a lot of strength out there since I can't get my hand all the way around it. Really appreciate everybody stopping by and hope that you enjoy working out with me. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.